and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The first reading, as we heard, thank you for the reader for proclaiming the reading very well with all the accent necessary. We saw Prophet Malachi chastising the priests. We saw him speak so hard on the priests, simply because the priests at that particular moment didn't do what they are supposed to do. Prophet Malachi didn't write much. The few he wrote was just like a fire that went across different stages of life. Especially today, he addressed to the priests of the temple. The priests were accepting people to sacrifice animals that are lame, sick, and that are unworthy. Whereas God told them to offer the best animal that they can for his own worship and for his own glory and for his own adoration. But now the priests of the temple didn't obey the instruction of God. Now they accept bribes in order for people to offer lame and sick animals. Then Prophet Malachi saw this and now prophesied against the priests, that instead of receiving blessing, you'll be receiving a curse. Instead of receiving blessing, now you will receive punishment. So he was admonishing the people, the priests of the temple, to change the way they were doing their job. And also the priests were encouraging the people to sin. Sin, come, you will be forgiven. So Prophet Malachi, God sent Malachi to go directly to the priests and then preach to them, reminding them of their own mission, which is to offer to God a very clean animal, healthy. And I even asked them, if you offer this animal to the governors, are you sure that they will receive the sacrifice? Surely no, because all of them also, they want something that is good. Prophet Malachi prophesied about 400 years before the coming of Christ. At that particular moment, there was a very good respect for the altar and also for sacrifice. So today he challenged the priests to be up and doing in giving their sacrifice to God. And also in admonishing people what to do in order for the sacrifice to be worthy and unblemished. When I was reflecting on this reading, I was saying, wow, he's not even talking only to the priests or the ministerial priests. This addresses to each and every one of us. How do we offer our sacrifices? What do we offer to God? And how do we offer to God? When we come on Sundays, what do we offer to God? I think today must have been a day also we talk about stewardship. All of us were just stewards of God's glory. Whatever God has given to us is for us to not only to keep for ourselves, but also to be responsible to others for what God has given to us. God has given to us so many talents, so many special gifts. How are we using these gifts? When we talk of stewardship, we're not only talking about money. Money forms part and parcel of what we do. How do I become responsible for my community? What do I offer to my community? Not only in terms of money, also my service. If you want to be the greatest, you need to be the servant of all. In my offering, what do we offer and how do we offer? Do we offer something we feel, well, I don't need it? No. Or some of us, when we do charity, when we want to give something, ungiven, even the cloth or shoes, what type of shoes do we send to the people? Those who go to the Salvation Army, what type of things do we take to the Salvation Army? Something that I don't need, something that I feel is no longer worthy, then I do charity. When we want to give, we should give from our own heart, because God has commanded, we should offer him the befitting sacrifice. If we go to the gospel, we saw Christ also chastising the Pharisees and also the elders and the priests. Because most of them, they loved places of honor and banquets. They loved their names to be mentioned. They love to occupy the first position in everything. They want people to recognize them. They want honor. They want respect. God told them, wow, this is not adequate. Then they make so many laws for people to keep, but unfortunately they cannot keep even a single or a particular law. But what their intention is for people to see them. Also in our society today, even in our families, most of us at times we have become just like the Pharisees. We want people to listen to us, but we don't accompany our actions with good work. For example, a dad or a man who drinks or who smokes, and then you see your child or your son smoking. Now what courage are you going to use to correct the person? You may say everything you are saying, but there is no your words, there is no comparison between your words and also your actions. So that's what Christ said. Listen to what they say, But do not obey what they tell you, because they only say, yet they cannot fulfill. Christ wants that our faith, we have a consequent action. We live our faith by the action, by what we do. Nowadays, children listen not only by word, also they listen more by action. Don't tell them, don't do this. You yourself begin not to do it. You will see them following you. If you tell them, don't fight in the school, for example, and in the house, every night, they hear noise, even giving punches on the walls, then what do you expect from them tomorrow? If you tell them, don't come late unnecessarily to the house, yet you come at the middle of the night without excuses, what do we expect from them? God wants us to accomplish, first of all, our own actions with good works. Don't only say, but put it into practice. If you put it into practice, we'll be convincing so many. Also, it is our own duty, everyone, to lead people to Christ, not only the priest. Then how are we doing to lead people to Christ? All of us, we are an image of God. He made us in His own image and likeness. Now we become Christ-like. How do we reflect the life of Christ in us? That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. I love Christ, but I hate Christians, because the Christians are no longer living the life of Christ. So if we can live the life of Christ, we will be the door open for many people to come towards Christ. But if we don't live that particular life of Christ, the life of Christ consists in loving one another, in doing good, being charitable to one another, being a friend to all, without distinction, without race, without gender. Everyone becomes one, because God has made us His own image and likeness. That's why last week, Christ summarized the Ten Commandments in two. One, but in two ways. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, with everything you have. And then the second is just like the first. You should love your neighbor as you love yourself. This is where the love of Christ consists. Anything we do, if we don't add that particular love to that, it means we are not achieving our aim as Christians. So as Christians, we should follow Christ unreservedly with our own life and also our action. Action speaks more than the word. So the word of today needs Christians who live more by action and no longer by the words. Another example, if you see me now with a bottle of beer, drunk, dancing, speaking fluently in Italian, which I don't know how to speak, and then dancing and then being happy, how are you going to react? What will be your first reaction? What will be your first reaction? If you see your priest drunk in the middle of the way, speaking any type of language, any type of sign, any type of dance, what will be your reaction, first of all? What?
Forget him.
Oh, you forget him, okay. And then if you see him on Sunday, the man on Sunday comes up dressed, well dressed, and then saying, it's not good to do this. And then you saw him at the corner doing it. What will be the reaction? All that I said has been watered down. Even some people were talking of something. When someone does like this, it means all that you are saying have no value, no testimony. We only say if there is no action. That's what people mimic it. After talking, saying everything, after saying we know where to get to. So we pray God to make us to be witnesses. We witness not only by word, also by action. And in fact, action speaks more, cuts across more our hearts than the words. So if we live by what we say, we will lead many people to Christ. We will lead our children to safety. We will lead our brothers and sisters, our friends in the office, in the work. Where we are, we lead people to God. But if we don't fulfill what we say, wow. That's why Gandhi said, I hate Christians, because they are not like Christ. Christ leads us to the Father. He said, I am the GPS to the Father. I am the way. I am the life. If whoever wants to go to the Father should come through me. In the same way, if anyone wants to be converted, he should go through each and every one of us, because all of us are image and likeness of Christ. So today, our question for the personal reflection will be, how am I living my faith? Do I accompany my words with action? If I say I love you, do I put it into practice? Only by lip service, as the Pharisees do, as the hypocrites do. They love to be served. They love to be recognized. But now, how do I feel? Even if I say, I don't say I love you, but now, how can I demonstrate?